What's good, YouTube? We are back here for episode number 4 of the San Antonio Spurs series. If you guys have missed any of the previous episodes, the playlist link is in the description below. And let's get straight into it, because this team, we are one of the worst teams in the NBA. And I think we all know, like I said before, the Spurs wouldn't take on purpose, but currently this team just cannot compete. And that's the entire point of this entire video. Obviously, we spent last video trying to scout for the future of this team, and it's time for us to make some of those decisions. This year, Giannis wins the MVP, which is awesome for him because the Milwaukee Bucks had a really good season. LaMelo Ball wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 28 and 6 assists. And Devontae, look, the Hornets should be doing this in real life and just start Melo. But looking at it, Chris Boucher takes home Most Improved Player. And so many crazy things have been happening around this league that I'm ready to actually start to rebuild this team, because I think that we need to head into a new era in San Antonio. We're led in points, obviously, by DeMar DeRozan. He had a pretty solid season. LaMarcus took away shots from all of the young players. And Keldon Johnson, DeJounte Murray, and those guys were all right. And I really wanted more from Devin Vassell and Lonnie Walker, but they really didn't get the opportunities to really make that much of an impact because there's so many of the veteran players taking up all those minutes. But also, guys, before we go any further, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get 120 likes for episode number 5, which will be next season opener, and it's gonna be a banger. But anyways, guys, obviously we were a really bad team, and I don't know if Pop retires or not. It kind of depends on what happens. But we currently are looking at getting Kuminga with the 4th overall pick. I really don't know what's going to happen with this team. I kind of want to move forward with Tim Duncan and or Becky Hammond and just move forward with this process, because I do want to compete and the Spurs will always be competitive. But I think that we got to change up the mindset just a little bit. And this season, it turns out the Milwaukee Bucks win this year's championship as the Brooklyn Nets get bounced in round number 1 by Philly. And the Bucks and Giannis somehow beat the Lakers, which personally, I don't know if that's really going to be happening in real life. But let's get into this offseason as UD, Melo, Korver, and all of those guys will retire. But guess who doesn't? Gregg Popovich says, hold on, Chief, I ain't going nowhere. And going through this process, I also noticed that 2K took Tim Duncan and Becky Hammond out of the game for some ridiculous reason, but they're no longer there. So we did bring in Udoka and some of the other guys, but unfortunately, we were not able to bring in TD and Becky Hammond, which really sucks. So heading into this year's draft lottery, we have a chance of getting the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, and I need some of that lottery luck. And after simming through the entire thing, we are heading into the top 4, and with the 4th overall pick, that goes to the Pacers. So we're definitely going to be getting into the top 3, and you guys already know who I'm going after, man. I'm looking at Evan Mobley, I'm looking at Cade Cunningham, I'm looking at Kuminga. And I don't want the 3rd pick. Let's go. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they walk away with the 3rd overall pick, which means we are definitely going to be in the top 2 with the chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. In the last number 1 pick the Spurs had, I think it was 97 whenever they drafted Tim Duncan. So I hope we get number 1, but we walk away with the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft, which means we really can't lose here. We can trade down, get a lot more assets, and really thrive off of this draft pick. And the Pistons actually end up with the number 1 draft pick to pair somebody up with Killian Hayes. And it really depends on what direction they want to head in. They got Killian. They might not take Cade, but I hope that they don't take Evan, though. We really can't lose with our draft pick. But looking at this year's front office, obviously we do decide to bring back Poppy, probably retires next season, Trent Peterson as well. And yeah, I know that Tim Duncan did step down as an assistant coach. Becky Hammond is not in the game at all. So we do decide to bring back Ime Udoka. Obviously, he used to be a Spurs assistant coach a few seasons ago. I like this front office, and I think that defense is still going to be our main staple. And looking at it, we're scouting at everybody who are in the mid tier, depending on if we trade down. We're looking at Mobley, of course. We're looking at everybody because we really do not know what we're going to do. And they're saying that Jalen Green goes number 1 overall, which kind of makes sense for them to actually do. But guys, I really need to hop into the NBA draft because I don't know what's going to happen. And like I said before, I'm still finding it so difficult to choose between Cade and Evan Mobley. Because Cade is probably the best player, but Mobley fits us the best. And who do the Pistons take number 1? They take Jalen Green out of the G League with the number 1 overall draft pick, which is good for them. I think it fits their team and makes a lot of sense. Now, looking at us, Cade can be amazing. Evan can be amazing. And we got to choose what we want. Obviously, we have so many guards on this team already. I like DeJounte Murray. We got Vassell. We got Johnson. I'm going to see if OKC wants to trade up and get the guy out of Oklahoma State. And this is such a realistic deal, but 2K sim logic is so bad. Like, it is so bad. It makes so much sense for the Thunder to want to trade up, even one draft pick, especially if we're fielding offers. But eventually, we can't come to any agreement. We also look at trying to make a deal with the Pacers too. The Pacers are kind of on that same BS timing, so where they don't really want to make a true offer for these guys to trade up 2 spots and possibly get a guy to help out their franchise. So I just cannot agree with these trades where I'm giving up draft picks. So we decide to go ahead and pick up Evan Mobley on this team. He might not be the highest overall, but this guy fits everything that we need. We need a big man on this team. LaMarcus, if we can get him back on a reasonable deal, maybe, but if not, I'm good. Cade goes to the Thunder, and let's send him to our next draft pick in the 2nd round. And okay, we got some guys here. I'm gonna just be honest. Brandon Boston is our guy. I'm surprised that he fell this far in the draft, but yo, man, anything is possible with the 32nd pick in the NBA draft. And I think we did really, really well. In my opinion, that is a steal. Yes, he is another wing player, but he's a guy that we can slowly develop. Right now, I'm liking this team because both of these guys have so much upside. And even if Boston isn't playing, he can still develop. So now, guys, it's time to look at free agency. Because in free agency, we got a couple of things to address. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan, guys like that. And actually, DeMar is not rocking with us at all. He said he don't even want to talk to us. Kind of disrespectful if you ask me, but he not rocking with this team at all. And it looks like Cleveland is looking at giving Drummond that bag, which means we can look at Jared Allen. Look, if Cleveland is going all out on Drummond, that means that they probably are not bringing back Jared Allen. And Cleveland is in a weird position. So I don't know what they're going to be doing, but if they're not going to offer Jared Allen, I'm looking, and the same thing goes for LaMarcus. He ain't rocking with this team either, and I'm not paying him all that money. And Lonzo would have been really, really interesting, but he wants damn near $30 million a season. Can't do it. Jared Allen does want to come here. DeMar looks like he wants to go to the Bulls. And do they match Jared Allen? Because if they match him, okay, yo, they don't even match him. We are looking in a really good position, and we do bring in some veterans like Danny Green, Rudy Gay as well. We really want to make this team a stable because obviously the Spurs never try to tank on purpose. They always try to compete, and I'm keeping that exact same mindset as we bring in George Hill as well. We're bringing in a few former Spurs and a lot of guys who can help us win right now, as DeMar DeRozan, he goes to Miami on a 1-year deal. Cleveland obviously gave Drummond that bag. Chris Paul heads over to Chicago. Depot goes to the Knicks. Yo, where does LaMarcus Aldridge go? To the Hornets? The Hornets gave this man a bag. And honestly, I don't know why they even did it, but I like the moves that we actually made, guys. Make sure to go ahead and grade our offseason in the comment section below. I think for the most part, it makes some sense. So Mobley is heading over to power forward, and he shoots up to an 82 overall, and I'm kind of going to use this, man. Mobley can be this generation's Tim Duncan. This guy can shoot. This guy is athletic. This guy can play defense. I like everything that he's showing for us, and I think this team, we're going to be good. This team is going to be really, really good. Obviously, untapped potential to Mobley. We're sending this over, obviously, to Brandon Boston. That man has so much potential to be amazing for us. And lastly, Devin as well. But I think the biggest thing for this team, I think we're going to stand out defensively. We got a really good defensive team. And overall, we are really, really underrated. Obviously, I'm not talking about a championship or something like that, but this team can at least be good for, I would say, a top 6 seed, maybe a 7 seed, but we're definitely gonna be able to make the playoffs with this team, guys. This team has good defenders with Vassell, with Allen, with Mobley, with Murray. This team can shock a lot of guys, and then Derek White off the bench. This team can be a really, really good threat in the Western Conference. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Grade our offseason. I'm gonna give us a B+ or an A-. I think that we did good. Obviously, we lost some guys, and we were not able to do that DeMar DeRozan signing trade because he was not rocking with us at all. But overall, we made some really good moves, some really silent moves that can really impact this team. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And like this video, go ahead and subscribe. We got the season opener versus the Timberwolves, and we're looking to get that dub.